Hey guys, so I just wanted to start off the bat and say I apologize if I look a little tired during this video because I just got back from a 5:45 in the morning showing of The Last Jedi. Now you might be asking yourself, why did I see it at 5:45 a.m.? I can answer that in two questions. One, I love Star Wars, and two, all the showings last night were sold out. But yeah, so that's pretty much explains that. But anyway, I just want to say that I really like this movie. It needs to sit with me for a little bit, but I enjoyed it a lot. Basically, just to get everybody up to speed, if you haven't, I mean, obviously the opening crawl will tell you everything as it always does, but it basically leaves off, the Resistance is getting ready to fight the First Order. We last saw Rey on the island with Luke Skywalker, with that whole thing, and just we were waiting to see what happened. Probably one of the greatest movie cliffhangers of all time. Um, and yeah, I'm not gonna get too far into it because I don't want to spoil it, but that's really how it is. So I want to start off with basically the characters. Now, I gotta admit, I love all the new characters that have been introduced in this trilogy, I guess. Rey, Kylo Ren, um, Poe, Finn, BB-8 especially. I love all of them. And luckily, they all got stuff to work with here. Now, the biggest person I want to talk about here is Poe. Oscar Isaac is nailed the role. He was a character that everybody seemed to love in The Force Awakens, and he gets a lot more screen time in this one. His character is very enjoyable. He's a very driven person, and he really just wants to help. And Oscar Isaac just does a great job. Definitely one of the best characters of this new trilogy. Obviously, we have John Boyega as Finn. Typical character. He's still doing what he's doing. He's not my favorite, but he's still enjoyable. And then, of course, we've got Rey. Rey is badass. Daisy Ridley just does an amazing job, and it kind of makes me look back on myself and thinking that she's only a couple months older than me, and like being 25 years old, I'm kind of like thinking, well, what am I doing with my life? Why am I not in Star Wars? But either way, it's still pretty cool. Daisy Ridley just nails it. Amazing character. It's nice to see another like female lead in the movies as well, especially in a film like Star Wars. Now, the biggest problem that I have is Kylo Ren. Now, not to say that I don't like Kylo Ren, but obviously people compare him to Darth Vader and Anakin. Well, Hayden Christensen, Anakin sucks, so we can leave that out of the question. But my biggest problem with Kylo is that he's kind of a wimp. Um, Simply because there's parts in the movie and The Force Awakens as well where he doesn't get his way essentially, and he'll just throw a tantrum and start just smashing things around and throwing like just knocking over desks and stuff. And I just don't really like that. Darth Vader was like he would just breathe heavily like but he just gets way too mad and it kind of like it feels a little childish at times, which leads me into my next point, the humor. Now, the Star Wars has always had a great sense of humor, for the most part. In the older trilogy, I guess the original trilogy, excuse me, it was mostly interactions between like Han and Leia, the whole "I love you, I know" scene, um, Han and C-3PO, R2-D2 making his little noises, and Chewbacca, and just really little subtle things. The same thing happened in Force Awakens as well, but obviously they kind of like made references to seeing these characters over again from the original trilogy, and introducing new stuff. But this one felt a little forced. I'm not gonna lie. The very first half, a lot of the humor you could tell exactly where it was gonna be, and it felt very, very forced, a little childish at times. Not to say that didn't take away from the movie that much, but it was very noticeable. And I had heard a couple people say like, "Oh yeah, you would love this type of humor." Well, not really, not in this type of movie. Maybe another one, but nah, didn't work here. Um, Maybe people have a lot of problems with that. I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to you guys. But it definitely stops in the after the first half. In the last, I don't know, maybe third of the movie, it starts to get really serious, and that's what I really liked about it. Now the plot is pretty simple. As I mentioned before, it's just they're getting ready for the big war, essentially, the resistance versus the First Order. Good versus evil, as it always been, light side versus dark side, um, and that's really it. The other thing I really loved about it was Luke Skywalker. Now, obviously, everybody was really, really happy to see Mark Hamill back, and he totally just blows it out of the water. He's definitely the best part of the movie. A lot of people see it, and there's a couple scenes that are just really, really great, even emotional at times. As you can see him, I'm reminiscing about it, and there's a couple of just really cool things in there. Like I said, no spoilers. I'll leave that to you guys, but Mark Hamill, after coming back for so many years, love him. He shows why he was perfect for that role. And it's also really sad to see Carrie Fisher, considering she managed to finish all of her scenes for this movie before she had passed away. As you've seen in Rogue One, there is a very, very crappy CGI version of her, but this one, it is pure Carrie Fisher, and that was really cool to see. I'm glad that she was able to finish that up. Um, the one thing that people might not like about this movie, maybe the younger crowd, is it's not as action packed, I'd say. Um, there's one really cool scene towards the middle with Kylo and Rey. That's probably one of the best scenes in the movie. And then, of course, the ending on another winter planet, essentially like Hoth, but it's more of like a mining planet. And the scene itself was very reminiscent of season 7 of Game of Thrones, if you've seen that, with the wall and like the dragons and everything like that. Um, it'll make sense when you see it. They bring back some awesome machines that people liked from the old trilogy as well, the original. But I'm not gonna ruin that either, just because I'm not that kind of guy. Um, but there really aren't any. There's not a lot of lightsaber action. I will say that though, and that might throw a little bit people off. But then again, it's kind of cool that it didn't, because it didn't rely on anything like that. Now, just my overall feelings of the movie. I mean, I liked it. It took a while to get me going. I'm not gonna lie. It took a while to get me engaged. It is the longest of the Star Wars movies, coming in at about 2.5 hours actually. Just maybe just under, but it's the longest after Attack of the Clones. I'd say though that the trilogy is heading in the right direction. As far as me ranking this movie, I would put it as fourth in my list. So it goes Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back, and then this one, The Last Jedi. And I'm going to see it again Sunday, so I'll be able to solidify the rating of it. But for now, I'm going to say that I really enjoyed it. Seeing it at 5:45, it managed to keep me awake the whole time. That's good. Even though I was starting to get tired, but it kept engaging me and pulling me back, especially like I said in that last half. Um, and then the last thing I really want to talk about, and this goes for the entire Star Wars, is John friggin' Williams. That man is a musical genius. Anytime you hear his music, it can bring a tear to your eye. I'm not gonna lie. It's just so beautiful. And it fits perfectly in here. Like everybody, when they go to see a Star Wars movie, you see that opening title screen, you see the Lucasfilms in a galaxy far, far away, and you see the title crawl. Everybody gets excited. You can't help it. It doesn't matter. Even people who've never seen a Star Wars, they'll look around and just see everybody, like their eyes will light up on the screen, and it's amazing. And it was just a great feeling to see that again. And then his music really fits the settings. Very beautiful pieces of music, and I've always loved it. He's a master at his arts, and I will always love that. It will make me always feel relaxed. But overall, you guys, I definitely recommend seeing this. Like I said, I'm seeing it again on Sunday, so I might post a spoilery review afterwards, kind of like a discussion more so. But for now, I'll leave it at that. Go see it. Go see it as soon as you can. Avoid any spoilers that you can. I promise you, you don't want to have it spoiled for you. But I loved it. I like it. I'm going to see it again, and I'm sure you guys will too. Take care.